Hey everyone, welcome to the first episode of The Cost of the Build, the show where we go around St. Louis talking with founders, owners, and operators about what it truly costs to build the business of their dreams. Not just financially, but physically and mentally. Here for episode 1, we have published author and founder of Shear Studios, Sherrie Anderson, ready to tell her story.
Yeah. So, hi, my name is Sherrie. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
Everything, what it cost me, I guess we're not going to talk financially. We're going to talk physically, emotionally, mentally, right?
Yeah.
It costs a lot. It's a bunch of this, right?
Yeah.
So some days you're winning, some days you're losing, some days you want to open 10 more businesses. Other days you're like, why did I even start? It just really depends on the day and like how you feel, and everything changes. You know, you just got to pivot and turn and make it work.
Yeah.
Remind yourself why you started in the beginning.
Exactly. And so I want to take it back to the beginning, right? I want to talk about, before you started this, right? Who were you physically and mentally? Like, who was Sherrie pre-business?
Pre-business. Okay. So I've been in the industry for, I'm going to say close to 2 decades now. So business ownership is completely different. It's a whole nother beast. Before hair, I was in the military. So I was a cop, and I was in the United States Air Force. My last duty station was Fort Benning, Georgia. So yeah, that's who I was. I love hard things.
Yeah.
I love a challenge. I love it when somebody tells me you can't do it, because I'm going to do it 3 times.
Yeah. Yeah. And so what even made you go that route? Like, what was like, I want to go in the military. I want to prove myself. I want to work hard.
Yeah, well, so a little bit of everything. It's, my childhood. So it was a hard childhood.
Yeah.
So I didn't have a whole lot. Sometimes no food, sometimes no home.
Yes.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, well, this is not the life I want to live, whether it was alcohol, drugs, homeless, whatever. Not me. I didn't have that problem. But, just being around that, I had to extract myself, especially when it felt like there was nothing else. I'm like, how can I get out of here faster?
Yeah.
So military. And I was like, okay, this is easy compared to what I was dealt with.
Yeah.
So why not?
Yeah. And so you in the military, I imagine you built some sort of physical and mental strength.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And you probably had a system. Like, did you carry that into civilian life when you got out?
110%.
Yeah.
My dad, he was also military, but so a little more backstory. They divorced at a very young age. And so my mom was born in a different country.
Okay.
So English was not her first language. So we had to figure it out, right?
Yeah.
So in the military, lots of discipline, lots of, I can't say motivation, because motivation is not always there. You just do it, whether you like it or not. We're there for the mission. That's the only thing.
Yeah. So I come from a military background too, like my entire family, and that I remember like that mentality of like, it doesn't matter if you want to do this. It doesn't matter if you had motivation today. Like, this is what's ahead of you, and this is what you're going to take on. I don't want to hear any complaints until it's done, kind of thing.
Exactly.
And that
try harder.
Yeah, try harder, right?
Yeah.
And so I totally get that mindset. So you get out of the military, and then did you go straight into the profession, or like what was the steps like?
Straight into what profession? This profession?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So I've always dreamt about being a hairstylist. I thought it was so cool, so fun, so beautiful. Who doesn't want to have beautiful hair?
Yeah.
And makeup, whatever. And who doesn't want to feel good on the exterior? Because when you feel good on the outside, you feel good on the inside. Truly, it's very vain, but it's very true.
Yeah.
So the steps. As I was going through the military, I'm like, this is cool. I get to play some guns. I get to go play war.
Yeah.
Throw some grenades. Really.
That's crazy.
So it was really a really neat experience while traveling and meeting different people, different cultures, different lifestyles.
Yeah.
While getting yelled at.
Yeah.
But besides that, I always had hair in the back of my mind. I'm like, okay, well, I didn't have much direction growing up. I'm like, who is actually going to make money and a living doing hair and makeup? Like, there's no way. I'm going to go do all the hard things to make sure that's out of my system. And if I keep going back to it, that means it was meant to be.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it was. I got in the military. It paid for my college, got my business degree, and it paid for my cosmetology school.
Okay. So you knew, like, when you were getting your business degree, that it was still hair.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And then so you get out, you get your degree, and then did you work for anybody prior, or you were like, I'm launching?
Yeah. So I lived on the Illinois side at first, and then it was I found a place in Missouri. I had injured my elbow.
Okay.
And so I was getting some kind of treatment done, physical therapy.
Yeah.
And he's like, you need to meet my friend Amanda. Like, I think you would fit into the salon. And it was downtown on Washington Avenue while it was thriving.
Okay.
And so I'm like, okay. So little me went to downtown. I didn't know anything about downtown or anything about the Missouri side.
Okay.
But her and I connected, went there, and I was there probably 10 or 11 years.
Yeah.
And it was like 4 or 5 of us girls.
Yeah.
And we all went our separate ways now, but they all still practice hair. So it's really cool to see that.
Yeah.
And then we moved. And
Okay.
so we moved to the Missouri side finally.
Okay.
And then I worked at a little place in Town and Country. It was called St. Louis Salon and Spa. Unfortunately, they closed.
Okay.
COVID happened.
Yeah.
And then I went and put myself in a loft.
Okay.
And so it served its purpose. It felt a little lonely. It wasn't my cup of tea, but it did what it had to do during COVID, right? Because little spaces, we don't need to be in mass quantities or whatever. And I said, okay, I have always known I wanted to create a space where people felt heard, seen, loved, and have more of a camaraderie, community, collaboration over competition.
Yeah.
So this was always in the back of my mind. I do have 2 children, however, so life is busy.
Yeah.
And so now that one moved out and one is on her way out, this is my new baby. So it came at the perfect time, and God works when it's supposed to.
Absolutely. And so when you did the loft, you were independent contracting then? Like it was kind of like the start of your own thing? Mm-hmm. Like no one was overseeing it?
Correct.
You were just paying rent and then kind of distributing services how you wanted, right?
Yep.
And so how did you decide, okay, this is what I've been doing under the guise of someone else. These are the services I'm going to offer. Like it was just, you liked the way they felt when you did them, or like what drove you to kind of perform the certain services that you did provide? So like do your own, I don't know, like how do you, I guess you find specialties.
Yes.
Right?
A niche.
Yeah. And like what drove you to the niche that you have?
Okay, so that's an interesting question because I like to view my niche as making somebody feel good.
Okay.
I love like their reactions when they maybe cry a little bit from being so happy, or if they go through something traumatic, whether it's a breakup, a loss, or cancer. So what can I do to help you and your journey to feel better? So that's my niche, is the transformative part of it.
Yeah.
But however, I do a lot of blonding, a lot of balayage. I don't know if you know what that is. This is balayage.
Okay, that's great.
Thank you. And then extensions, lots and lots of extensions. So wedding days, and the other side of me, here's where it kind of gets fun because our industry is so massive. You can do so many things with it if you allow it. So Shear Studios, right? So Shear because shears. I've always been known as Shear Sherrie.
Okay.
So I dropped the Sherrie because it's no longer about just me. It's about everybody. So studios. Why studios over salon? It's because we're not your everyday salon. We also do the studio side of stuff. So I do travel worldwide. I teach and lead teams all across the world. Okay. London, Milan, Paris, so on and so forth. And I work with designers. And I got to work with Anna Delvey's team and Ted Gibson, which was really cool.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
And so, let's back up
Very
to
studio feel.
Yeah. So when did that become a part of the studio? Like, was that pre-launch you already had kind of started the education side, or like that was as soon as you launched this, you got into that? Like, how did that work?
Oh, it's definitely pre-launch.
Okay.
I've always loved looking at magazines and the girls with the long hair and like celebrities. Like, why are they getting photographed? Why does everybody want to look like them? Why does everybody put them on a platform? First of all, it's kind of neat. Yeah. But secondly, it's just when somebody brings in a picture of Carrie Underwood, I want to look like Carrie Underwood. Well, first of all, let's just look at the hair and then we'll talk about that part. Yeah. But for them to be such a inspiration or icon to people, and that's what I'm seeing, like people bring in, like our traditional civilians. Yeah. I think that part is really neat. So I love the photography. I love everything. Like it's all art to me. Yeah.
So okay, when you left from the loft to open this, like, what did life look like for you, like physically and mentally? Like, were you anxious? Were you high stress? Like, what did that look like? And then physically, like, were you training? Were you taking care of yourself?
Always. First and foremost, you have to take care of yourself. Yeah. Pour into your own cup first, because how can you pour into others if you're not taking care of yourself? Yeah. Physical, working out, all that, health, wellness, what you put into your body is what you're going to give. So that has never left. Okay. I've always made that a priority, no matter if I'm tired, anxious, upset, sad, whatever. That helps cure whatever's going on in here. So if I don't go to the gym, I get a little crazy. Yeah. So that has never stopped. So anxious and all those words that you use, it really depends on the day, you know. And when we first opened, there was a lot of things that we had to jump through, like inspections, electrical, build outs, color codes. I mean, like the window panes that has to stay green. Who wants green on their window? I don't know. Right. But so there was just a bunch of things that kept delaying the process. Bills go up, and we were blessed with a unique situation, so everything worked out just fine. But it's always something, and you just got to learn how to absorb it, think a little bit before you speak, and then just adjust or address those feelings as need be.
Yeah. And have you always been able to do that though? Or was that something you acquired like through life, through the military, or through this?
Through all of it.
All of it. Yeah.
All of it. Yeah. So my childhood prepped me for the military prepped me for this.
Okay. Because, and the reason I ask is you hear from a lot of younger or newer entrepreneurs, or even people that have changed their business ventures, you know, as time's gone on. Maybe they really accelerated one career and then they switch. There's this like uncertainty. Everyone talks about the risk of entrepreneurship, right? You, though, the way you speak, have this bulletproof mind. It's like, it's not really a risk. Like, you just have to take it one day. And like, everybody hears that, but not everybody can execute that, right?
Yeah.
And I think, again, military training helps. You obviously are super strong-willed, super strong emotionally, too, it sounds like, and just from knowing you, right?
Depends on the day.
Yeah, right, of course. Everyone's human. But like, what would you say to someone who is making this change, especially in your industry, right? They've worked under another salon. Maybe they're not being able to serve people the way they want. They want to go out on their own, but they're just not sure if they're capable. Like, what advice would you give them to show them you have the skill set? Here's some examples in reality that prove that you can do this. Mm-hmm. And B, how do you kind of get them to prep their mind to maybe even fake it till they make it to get there? Like, what would you tell them to do?
Well, never give up. Keep trying. Keep doing things even when you feel like giving up. So I don't use the fake it or make it mentality anymore, like I did back in the day. But no, you address it head on and you figure it out, because what's on the other side is going to be amazing. Yeah. So if you can push past that certain point, then it'll be great. Yeah. So not everybody understands that, because the fake it or, no offense, the fake it or make it mentality, I think really deters people from going even further, because it's now they call it the imposter syndrome, right? Like, no, you're there for a reason. You were invited to this event for a reason. You invited me to your podcast for a reason. Like, just own it. Yeah. Sure, it might be scary, but just keep going. It's going to be okay. Yeah, absolutely. I love that. You only have one life. You only have one life. Yeah. Just take the risk. Yeah. Just take, exactly. I love that. And who doesn't want to feel alive? 100%. That's why I like the 4 seasons, right? Like summer, winter, fall, spring. Like, I like to feel all of that. Yeah. And so what was the biggest challenge for you since launch and up to now on your own, right? Like, really making your brand. Like, what has been the most difficult thing that you've had to overcome? I would say you can't lead a horse to water. So you want something so bad for somebody to make it be okay, make it be exciting, have them succeed. But if you're not doing the things after repeatedly being told, hey, this is the magic ingredient, the recipe, just follow these simple steps and you will get to where you want to be. Yeah. But the more and more you prolong it, procrastinate, that's when the anxious comes. Stop comparing yourself to people online, because people only post what they want to show, right? Yeah. So you can't compare somebody else's journey to yours, because everybody has a different path. Yeah. So if I want you to win so bad and you're just like, oh, I don't feel like posting today, or no, I don't feel like taking that haircut, that's not for me. No, babe, you gotta do it. Yeah. So leadership then. Yeah. So it feels like you're trying to give your expertise, show what worked for you, show what you see in the industry that's going to help them be successful. Mm-hmm. But no matter how bad you want it for them, you felt it was difficult to get them to want it for themselves? Yeah, for some people. Accurate? Like the team that we have, incredible. They're all amazing. They're all go-getters. They all show leadership skills. We have a couple mentors. We have an acting manager right now. You met her. So it's really cool to see them all grow together. And I love that they're always willing to give a helping hand to each other, because that's how our culture is. We help each other. Yeah. And you don't have to dim somebody's light for you to shine. No. You can shine together or in a different way, right? Yes. So right now what we have is great, but it's definitely a learning process, because everybody has emotions. Let's be real. We're females. We might be a little more sensitive. Sure. And so I just want to make sure that not only their emotions are heard and felt, but that they have to push through the hard times. And I'm here to lead you, whether it feels comfortable or not. So in just the way that you talk about the staff and the way that you present yourself, I feel like your leadership looks different than a lot of other salons, right? And so do you talk to them about, obviously you help them with their emotions, right? Mm-hmm. Like you just stated, but do you talk to them about taking care of themselves physically and mentally? And for those who want to blossom in their career, is that something that you emphasize is important for them? All the time. Yeah. I practice what I preach. Yeah. I still am very much behind the chair. I still do the side work. I will still clean, all of that. But also I try to say, hey, you like, let's maybe go for a walk, or let's go. I have some plans in September. Like you will be coming out.
Yeah.
But also having people like teach them how to maintain their posture. So when they're in training, I'm like, okay, plant your feet in the ground. It's really about how you show and maneuver your body to protect your body.
Yes.
So it's very, very, very important, because going on almost 2 decades, I want them to reach that if they want to.
Yeah. Because this career, it may look like, okay, I'm in this nice air-conditioned space. We're all about beauty and everything looks, really easy on paper, right? But it's like you're on your feet, on hard floors all day. You're bending over, looking at people. You're giving a lot of energy too, right? People always think about physical stress through gravity on the joints, right? And the musculature. But not everyone thinks about the emotional energy you're giving, how draining that is, right?
Lord
so you have
mercy.
to prepare them, right, for that.
Yes, because sometimes people trauma dump, and that's okay.
Yes.
We're here to make you feel good. We're here to do everything on the exterior, but we're also a soundboard for you. Like sometimes, who knows what's going on at home, right?
Yeah.
So when they come down, they're like, we hope to relax their shoulders, help them. But sometimes when it keeps coming all day, it does get heavy. When I go home, sometimes I just turn off the radio. I might take an extra lap around the street before I go inside, so I won't bring that into my home.
That's
but
smart.
I love helping people through what I've been through in my chair, but it does become heavy sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's something, again, that you train them on, right?
Yeah.
Is how to handle that.
Mm-hmm.
That's incredible, because you don't see that all the time.
No.
You really don't.
Yeah.
And so what are non-negotiables for you when it comes to, okay, let's say, because I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs get trapped in, how do I continue scaling? How do I continue growing the business? It's not where I want it. And they lose sight of the human being, the relationships, all of the other things, right? Mm-hmm. You lose sight sometimes of why you started.
Yeah.
So what are your non-negotiables? Like, I protect this. This will always be a focus, no matter if I hit my daily tasks or not. What are those things for you?
Time, energy, and health.
Yeah.
Yeah. So of course, family is encompassed in that. For me, like my love language is your time, like, because that is the most valuable thing on the planet. You can't get it back. You can get gifts all the time. You can get acts of service, but time, you can't get back. So I value my time with my family at home. I love being in my sweat, doing absolutely nothing. But I think for me, that's non-negotiable. But going to the gym, eating healthy, and just taking care of my family. Yeah.
I want to get what you just said as far as the sweats. Okay. That may sound like nothing to somebody, but as someone who meets with a lot of entrepreneurs, who studies, what kind of creates success, there's a big fad right now with hustle culture, right? As you know, and being a person of faith, right? Yeah. We kind of don't always buy into that. We're able to kind of see the smoke and mirrors, or also say, you know what? I'm going to take action because I have to, but God's got me. Yeah. Some people who don't have that relationship, right, with God or creator or the universe or whatever power you want to call it, they feel like if they're not constantly taking action, especially in the beginning and launch, they aren't going to make it. And that takes a toll on them mentally. So like, how did you get to the point? Was it just God that was able to tell you, hey, it's okay to put my sweats on and do absolutely nothing? Or was it, hey, I've made success and now I can do that?
I think it's a little bit of both, and it depends on the season, because of course, God first and foremost, and he gives me the strength to do everything right.
Yes.
But when I have my sweats day, it's just because maybe I had trauma dump all week, like sometimes that happens, or maybe while leading other people, sometimes they may be going through something. So I absorb that as well. Yeah. I try not to, you know what I mean? I just be the soundboard.
Yeah.
But, what was the other thing? I'm so sorry. You said hustle.
Yeah. So with hustle culture, like, again, it makes a lot of people feel guilty for being able to even do that, right? Especially in the beginning. Is that something like that you did in the beginning too?
Yes, but I also believe in strike first, strike fast, strike hard. Yeah. So you need to get it done. Just do it. Don't have a list of things to do, because that, for me, having that list creates that anxiety, creates like, oh my gosh, then I just can't stop thinking about it. So I'd rather just wake up early, get my workout in, do a little bit of reading, do a little prayer, and go about my day. Yeah. Like, I don't want a to-do list, because it's always going to grow.
So break that down for me though, because a lot of people, and I want to go back to the routine too, because that's very similar to mine, and it seems to be a version that's out there that it helps with physicality and mentality. But I want to get like why you chose that and stuff. But before we jump there, when it comes to not having a task list, how do you make sure that you're always hitting every area for growth? Like, how do you do that?
Well, every area, as in
you own a salon.
Yeah.
So like, you're managing clients, you're managing your staff, you're managing marketing, like, but you have no structure as far as a list. So like, how do you make sure like, yep, today I hit all the boxes, or do you even care about that?
Oh, I do. I do care about it because I would rather create more opportunities for things like this, because if I have that list and not check them off, then I just won't be here present for this particular podcast, right? So I get up in the morning pretty early, and thankful for my husband because he also gets up early as well. And I'm like, there's no option. He wants to get up and go. I'm like, let's do this, you know? So when I'm at the gym lifting, in between my sets is when I do my marketing, when I message back for emails. I won't text message just yet, because unless you're somebody I know that's going to be up at 5 o'clock in the morning as well, then I would, just to make sure that I take care of that, right? So it's always like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I just go through just different things and check them off. But it's not like a physical list, you know, it's just something in my mind. I created structure and standards and policies and procedures here. So it's more, you know, I have my ladies here. I trust them all. Like they're all great. So they help the whole entire process here go smoothly.
When it comes to trust, was that something that was difficult to let go of? Being someone who is all about greatness and succeeding and striking fast, striking hard, sometimes we get in the way of ourselves and we don't want to give up that trust. Like, was that easy for you to do or no?
It earned, it's not given.
Okay.
You know, so something, I mean, that's just how I was ever since I was a kid. Like even my mom relied on me for a lot of stuff. I'm like, okay, I got it. I got you.
Yes.
And that's when the sweat started coming into play. I'm like, oh, I need my sweat day. Like, because it's always me. I got you. But besides my husband, who else got me? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, once growth and time had passed with certain people that have shown loyalty and leadership skills, that's where the trust started building more and more and more.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So you just had to put the right people in place, and then you were like, I can put my guard down a little bit, trust.
Absolutely.
And it probably helped with growth anyway, right? Like the minute you could do that, I'm sure growth 10x. Yeah.
Correct. But you have to have the right people on your side.
Yeah.
To build together, not alone.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. And so you get up in the morning, you train, right? 5 days a week?
Yeah, on average. Sometimes more.
Okay. And then
my Friday that like doubles.
Okay. And then you journal? Sometimes.
Yeah.
And then you do prayer.
Yep.
And then you jump into your day and read.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a little bit, because I don't always have time to go through chapters.
Yeah. So like you try to hit a couple pages, or you just read until you feel like I don't have time. Like,
both.
Okay.
Both. Yep.
Okay.
And sometimes it happens at night too. Like sometimes when I'm reading, it's like rocking the baby to sleep. I fall asleep.
Yeah. I love that you're able to do it almost intuitively, just because my mind is like, if I don't write down, okay, we're sending 5 messages today, we're doing 10 emails, we're reading 5 pages, whatever, right? If I don't have a number, I will be all over the place. Some days it'll be 30 messages, some days it'll be 2. You know what I mean?
But here's the thing though, sometimes it is like that. You know, it just depends. Who knows what else is going out there, because they're probably going through the same thing. Is it 10 or 30, right? So I just kind of take it as it comes and just make sure, okay, did I visit my email? Did I visit my text message? Did I do my business, my back of the house stuff, payroll, schedules? You know, I designate certain times of the day, like Fridays we talked about. I do a lot of admin stuff and it works out great. Yeah. So
what does sleep look like for you? Do you prioritize sleep?
Absolutely. Like if I don't get my sleep, I'm a little cranky.
Yeah. And has that always been there? Because I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, in the military, you don't always get to sleep.
Oh my gosh, no.
Right?
No, you'll get up at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. You better make your hospital bed corners.
Yeah. So you know, you're not sleeping there. You spend like, how long were you in the military again?
Immediately right after high school.
Yeah.
So it was close to 5 years.
So 5 years, you're running off low sleep. You're pushing your body and your mind. Then you come into this and you now are making your own structure. When did you start catching up on sleep? Was it before you built the business? In it? Like, when did you no, I have to rest?
Wait, is this like with babies, no babies, kids?
Both, yeah.
Both? Okay, so of course when my kids were a lot younger, now they're 19 and almost 18. Then it was, when they were younger, it was less sleep because I want to make sure they're okay, got to say prayers with them, read them a book, whatever. Now it's like, okay, you guys are good, brush your teeth, you got it, you know what to do, I'm going to go to bed.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, yeah.
So it's kind of like with your staff.
As time goes on
and you can trust that they can take care of themselves a little bit more, then you can start prioritizing yourself again.
Yep.
That's really cool. Okay. And so what do you think is the biggest misconception when it comes to starting a business? Like what's out there, whether it be physical health, mental health, or just the processes in general, what is the biggest misconception you think is out there when it comes to starting a business?
Okay, so there's a couple of things. Misconception, oh, that's easy. If she could do it, I can do it. Which, sure, you can do it if you put your mind to it, but it ain't easy.
No.
And it's a lot of work from top to bottom, everything in between. It's hard.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to lie about that.
Yeah.
But when I hear, oh, she's just lucky, what does that even mean?
Oof, I hate that.
My husband and I worked for every single thing that we've ever had because he also had a situation. I'm like, no, we weren't given things. We built this together.
Yes.
So.
And it's kind of the entrepreneurial curse, right? Like, I would say a majority of the people who go to build their dream didn't have circumstances that others would favor in the beginning of their life. Or else you usually won't have the motivation to want to do this, right?
Yeah.
Especially when you talk about the difficulty, right?
Yeah.
If you maybe had a comfortable life, and I'm not saying there are great businesses that were founded by people who have had
100%.
great resources or loving relationships or just like what people would consider the top 1% of circumstances to be born into. But I'm just saying from the stories that you often hear, right, when you talk about building something, right, this is the cost of the build. This is building something from the ground up. Most of the time it comes from a place of, hey, I don't like this feeling.
Mm-hmm.
I want more for myself and my future and my family.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what I have to do.
Absolutely.
And so I love too that you talk about, it's like, it was hard. Like, it was hard. Nothing has been luck. It has been earned. It may look like luck on the outside, but it's because you don't see what I'm really doing.
Yeah.
And so when you talk about that difficulty level, we all anticipate it's going to be, but was it even worse than when you got into it than you thought?
Worse is a weird word to pick, but it was definitely more hard than I anticipated.
Yes.
Like I knew it was going to be a challenge, and I knew there's all kinds of processes and approvals and blah blah blah, this and that. Yeah. I think managing and that side of it was a lot more because I do truly care about people deeply. Like, and I have to learn I have to turn off my empath side sometimes because it's just strictly business. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, depending on the day, it does get hard. And, having a bunch of ladies fall under my wing, I want nothing but the best for them.
Yeah.
I don't want them to fail.
No,
you will succeed. Yeah. And there you go. So that time, like, it gets hard when they're feeling some sort of way, especially in the beginning of their career. Because, with any career, you have to start from a certain level and work your way up.
Yeah.
You're not going to be at a 20-year stylist level just yet when you're only on year 2 or 3.
No matter how talented you are.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Time is a thing. Like,
absolutely.
You have to put in time. And it's not even so much to earn your stripes. It's just there's so much to learn. I feel like in every industry, right?
Absolutely.
And it's sometimes as someone who is always hustling and even in life, right? You look at the people who are high-level athletes and they've succeeded in school, and they get into their career and they often think, well, I excelled here, I should excel here. It's like you may be great already surface level talent-wise, but there's a lot to learn, right?
Absolutely.
That's really cool.
And these athletes, I love during our meetings and like team bonding events, talk about like how these athletes become who they are.
Yeah.
Well, it's because all the practices, everything that they've gone through to get to that point, they don't just magically become this all-star, right? Like, you have to work to get there. Same thing with hair, same thing with what you do. It takes time and a lot of practice, sometimes things that people don't even see.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, and so when it comes to your unique skill set, like, what do you think separates you from others in the industry? But like, just like even here in the studio, like, what makes you you, and how have you used that to accelerate, growth and success?
I think just being open and willing to share as far as like with my team, what I've gone through and what they can get to. But as far as people that come see me in my chair, it's just putting myself out there, not being shy, being friendly. That matters first and foremost. You have to have a kind heart. You have to be coachable. I'm always willing to learn from anybody. Doesn't matter how long you've been in it or how talented you are. Like, you can always learn something new from anybody. So just really putting myself out there and reaching out to people and growing and bringing people along the journey with me. Yeah.
And that's so real because, like I said, just like the day I met you, I felt that. And so, unfortunately, sometimes people, I think they want to put on a show when they own something or when they're high level business that I don't have time for you. I don't need to learn something new. I have it all figured out, because they want they want to feel like the authority in their field, which is fine. But sometimes I think that can hurt you. And
you gotta drop the ego.
You have to drop the ego. And so I also love too, because when I remember talking to you about, hey, I want to reach out to this person. I'm a little nervous, and I didn't know why, because I'm usually pretty outgoing. And you were like, look, the one thing that I learned was like, you have to just put it out there, tell them, hey, this is what I want from you. As far, and not even just like I want something from you, but like I want to talk to you. This is why. This is who I am. And if they want to interact with you, then that means it's probably going to be a good relationship, and that's the person you want to talk to. If it's not, then they're probably not someone that's worth being in your circle anyway. And I love that. I think that is one of the best pieces of advice I've ever gotten. And it's so funny because now when I go to talk to people that I've never spoken to since that day, I'm like, there's no nervousness.
No,
you know?
You're human.
Yeah.
You're human. Yeah. Unless you're, the predator or something.
Yeah, right. Something crazy, right? We don't know all this talk out there, the aliens and all this stuff in the world. You never know. But it's crazy because I think especially like the generation that's out there now that's growing in business, the younger generation who's born with tech, maybe they don't feel confident conversing, one-on-one, but even sending a message now, right? They're a little hesitant. What if someone screenshots it? What if someone makes fun of me? It's like, because that's out there. People, let them, right? Because what's the worst thing can happen? Like, if someone wants to be ugly to you, you get to ultimately decide what kind of power they have over you.
Absolutely.
Yep. But I don't think some people realize that maybe.
Yeah. And honestly, you mentioned about what if they talk about me? What if they screenshot it? Who cares? Like, really, who cares? Like, especially with everything being online now and social media. I experienced my fair share of bullying online. I'm like, okay, great. You're paying attention. I'm doing my job. It's just, it is what it is. Like, unfortunately, it shouldn't be that way. You should give more praise and give a compliment. Like, I will roll down my window and tell a lady she looks nice. You know what I mean? Just my vibe.
Yes.
And I think we need more of that.
Yes.
But who cares? Like, who cares?
Yeah.
Like, thanks for boosting my algorithm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so what has been the lowest point for you in business, and then what did you get out of it?
Okay, lowest point. Fortunately, but unfortunately, I feel like that is fuel for my soul. Like, it's like nothing is gonna hurt my feelings as much as my past it, right? So I'm like, okay, that's fine. The lowest low, I would say, there was a couple times when we first opened, it kept getting pushed back. I lost 6 leveled stylists before we even opened.
Okay.
I'm like, well, I don't blame you. You need a job. That's okay.
Yeah.
And then just going through and learning, this sounds awful to say, but almost taking more time hiring, making sure they're the right fit as far as personality type and stuff like that, because one bad apple can ruin the entire bunch, right? So I've learned to now, once those characteristics come out, to let it go. Just let it go. So that's the hardest thing I would say is just, I don't want to hurt your feelings, but I'm here for a mission. I'm here to complete the job and making sure that this culture stays healthy. Yeah.
And did you ever have a time where you could feel the culture shifting and you had to remove the bad apple? Yeah. And what was going through your mind? Like, were you scared? Were you worried? Or were you just like, no, I have to do that. I'm okay with it.
All of the above.
Yeah.
Now to this point, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
There's a couple times where I'm like, oh man, I really wanted you to win. It's not working out. So I have private conversations and it's not working,
Yeah.
And it could be something as, who knows, right? Like, if it's just, we talk about it again, and it's a constant thing. This is who you are. And that's not what we're about.
No.
We're about growing together in a healthy environment.
Yeah, absolutely. And so what does Shear Studios look like in the next 2 to 5 years? Like, what are the goals?
Happy, thriving, living, making beautiful hair, traveling. The list goes on.
Yeah.
So,
is there anything that you haven't done yet in this industry that you want to?
J-Lo's hair.
Okay. J-Lo, if you're listening, this is your girl right here. Okay, that's awesome. And so I also know, like, you're trying to expand the careers for your staff, right? I know brand partnerships, things like that. You don't often even hear about that too in other studios and salons. So, like, how do you encourage a young professional to be able to make those? What do they need to do to be able to make those connections to kind of level up their career in that way? Because I feel like a lot of them get stuck in this cycle of, okay, I'm renting a booth. The only thing to do from here is to either up my prices or open my own studio.
Yeah.
And they feel like there's like two paths, or else they're going to be stuck. Like, what would you tell them? Like, there's more opportunity, and B, like, this is how you get there. How would you do that?
So it really depends on like their ultimate goal, because every person's journey is different. So they have to realize and accept, maybe even write down what they want for their future. So, and then reverse engineer that, you know, because if you want to get to maybe this level, we're going on 2 years, which is awesome. There's a lot of different steps. You can't just go from like 5 clients to opening a big salon, right? So I have multiple years under my belt, and teaching literally with all kinds of people, designers and celebrities and things like that. So the more experience, you have to put yourself out there, reach out to people and grow yourself that way. So it varies, right? It really varies, like on time and service and what they're willing to do. Because some people aren't willing to put in 10, 12 hours a day. You know, in the beginning, sometimes, depending on the growth that you want, it takes that. It's just, it doesn't come out of nowhere. You're not going to make a certain income if you're not allowing to put those hours in. Sure. Because people like to go to the lake. People like to be off. People like to go have a cocktail on the weekends. Meanwhile, sometimes I'm at home. Even if I'm on sweats, I'm still on my laptop. You work it. Yeah. And so do you feel like, okay, when it comes to, you know, meeting higher end clientele, right? People who are harder to access, or people who might pay a premium but are very particular, like, do you think that you can be a new stylist and just approach them and say, hey, this is what I do, I'm really good, and then the opportunity would be there? Or do you think like truly it is a timing thing? Like, unless you have the accolades, unless you have the experience, you probably want to wait to put yourself out there? I think there's both, because if you're going to go and try to approach somebody at a certain level, then you better believe with time and expertise and service, like how you perform the service, you better nail it. The approach will probably be better if you give it that time. Correct. Yeah. Then in the beginning, you may think you have it figured out, and you may blow an opportunity, because sometimes first impressions do last. Right. And then you approach them again. Now, sometimes the universe and God works in mysterious ways, and he's like, hey, I'm going to give you one more. But not everyone gets that shot. Right. Exactly. And so, I mean, but on the reverse side of things, maybe it would work for them. Maybe it does work out great, and it takes a little bit of time. It just really depends. Everybody's journey and path is different. So here at Shear Studios, we do have, I appointed 2 mentors, Christine and Maddie. So they are great. They help lead and bring in associates to grow them, to build them, to give them that confidence and things like that. So they help me with that side of things. And same thing with Liv. She also helps grow people incoming. So that way they know what to do, what to expect, and hear our experiences. And what ways did you measure those individuals to give them that role? Like, was it talent, character, mixture of both? Like, what did that look like? Talent, character, yes. Willingness to learn themselves, be coachable, kind-hearted, and just willing to grow other people. Like, it's not always about yourself. You know? You think, from what it sounds like to me, that love is literally like the operational source, right? Like, you cannot build something fantastic if you're solely operating from a place of what can I get from it. It's what can I give by doing this, right? Yes. It works both ways. Yes. So there's nothing wrong with thinking you're the best and big and bad. That's okay. That's okay. But here in our community, in our team culture, we like to grow each other and support each other. How do you balance that, being like, you know, I'm a boss babe, you know, I deserve my flowers, but also I'm coming from, you know what I mean? How do you do that? Well, I lead by example. So I am going to be right there with you doing the hair. I'm going to show you my ways, show you my techniques. And from there, you can grab and pick up your own little special nugget and work it in your own space. You know, like, I think that's great. I will also still do side work with them. You know, I might, you know, it just really depends. It depends on the day, depends on who's working and what level it is at. But I will always give them what I've gone through or what I can, I don't know, anything. Yeah, absolutely. And so a few final thoughts here. When it comes to, so you're wanting to grow, you're pretty happy with where you are, but you know, there's always room for improvement. Of course. How would you correlate your physical training with how hard you push yourself in the business? So, like, do you find that you go hand in hand? 100%. Yes. I think you would be such a much better leader if you do put yourself first and work out and feed your body fuel. Right. I look at that as a mandatory thing.
Yeah.
You stay disciplined. If you can stay disciplined with yourself, if you don't respect yourself enough to take care of your body, how in the world are you going to do it for everything else? I'm sure there might be some people that do, but I think you would lead better and have more of a mental clarity if you do.
Yeah. Like if you're already high level, but you're not really taking care of yourself, you think that their potential could even be greater
Expand.
if they would just train.
110%.
And do you think it comes from just the discipline of pushing yourself, or do you think it truly is like the clarity you gain and the better function that you gain from training? Or do you think it's a mixture? Like, what do you feel like is driving that correlation?
I think it's both.
Yeah.
It's a mixture of clearing your mind, because if I'm having a bad day or if I have that anxious feeling creep in, go to the gym, go for a run. Like that'll take care of it, make something a little bit harder. So that way, you know, oh, it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
And then just your physical, like being behind a chair, like you said earlier, we bend down, we move around. It's really important to build that muscle to protect your bones and everything else, because it, you know, carpal tunnel's a thing. You know, my traps get tight sometimes because my arms are always in the air.
Yeah.
So it's really important for both mental and physical.
Yeah. Not to mention in an industry like yours, when it's talking about you want to make people feel beautiful, right? Confident. When you're in shape, and you also have paid the dues in the morning or whenever, and you know that like you've done something for yourself, that energy radiates off to the people that you're serving.
Oh my gosh,
and they're like, you know, I feel like a lot of people pick the salons that they're in because they like the vibes. They you know, they want to look like their stylist, right? If their stylist has great hair and, you know, a nice outfit, they can take inspiration from that. But also just the better shape that you're in too, the energy that you put off is more warming, I feel.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, it's inviting.
Yeah. And so in this industry, I feel like that could really help push a career.
I agree 100%, because you want people to feel welcome. You don't want to push them away from feeling, ooh, like her energy is off, her vibes are off. And you know what I'm talking about. You just
1000%.
feel it radiate off them. I would rather you feel something like, hey, I'm nice. I'm not going to bite your head off. You know?
Yeah. How many times have you walked in the salon, you sit in the chair, the person looks exhausted, they look like they're miserable in their life, and maybe when they're talking to you, they're trauma dumping on you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Whereas if you get that fuel in the morning, or even the mindset component, right?
Yeah.
The chances of that conversation being more patient focused or client focused, right, is going to be greater. Their experience is going to be greater, which means then the revenue that you bring in is going to be greater.
It's a win-win.
Right?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Also,
okay.
I still do my hair for the gym. Sometimes
you do?
I do.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay, so I hear takes on that. They're like, if you do your hair or makeup before the gym, you're not about the gym. Like, what do you say to that?
I think that's a bold-faced lie.
Yeah.
I feel like I can lift heavier when my hair is done. I don't know what it is. And I might pick up a chick there. I don't know.
Yeah. Confidence.
Yeah.
You know, like look good, feel good, train good.
Exactly.
You know? It's kind of like when athletes wear the fancy gear. It's like, is it really going to make them perform better? Probably not. But if they feel better, they might perform better.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right. Well, Sherrie, thank you for your time. I think that's everything I wanted to know. I just wanted to know, you know, what does Sherrie do physically and mentally to protect herself in her business? How has that evolved? It seems like for you, from what I've gathered, is you've always had this background of pushing your body and taking care of your mind. It seems like you established a good mindset early on, so you didn't really have to build that as you grew, as much as some.
It's still building.
It's still building. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so is there anything that you're like, this still isn't where I want it to be, and this is where I want to focus? And if so, what would that be?
I'm going to have to say no, because every year or every time frame, I raise the bar a little bit higher, but I also give myself grace and remind myself of, okay, you made it this far. You went from that to that. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. Now what's next? I like that. I'm like, what's next? What's next? Yeah. You know, same thing with the ultra marathon and the bodybuilding shows. As you know, you were a bodybuilder too, right? Yeah. It takes that discipline. It takes that motivation. Okay, what's next? What's next? So I went from the bodybuilding to ultra marathon running, which the part about that was 0.0008% in the United States actually complete one. I was like, ooh,
that's crazy.
I want to be a part of that. Yeah. So I like that. So what's next? What's next? So this is my new ultra. How do you
focus on what's next, but by staying in the present, by staying grounded in the present, to enjoy life and your family?
Yeah. So that's an interesting question, because, you know, I try to turn it off when I'm at home. Sometimes I get excited because I'm passionate about it and I just want to talk about it. Yes. But I have to remind myself, okay, that's my passion, not theirs. Let me focus in on that realm of things. Yeah. And I really do have to learn how to turn it off more. but it's exciting to me. Like okay, what can I do better? What can I do? It's just how I am.
Yeah, that's awesome. And is there anything else that you'd want to say to someone who is maybe thinking about taking the leap, starting their own thing, whether it be in your industry or just in general? Like, what would you say to them as like the number one piece of advice that you could give?
Well, don't be scared.
Don't be scared.
Say a little prayer, and you'll figure it out like along the way, because every day is going to have a challenge. But just push past it and leave that fake it till you make it mentality, and just push through it.
Just push through it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and be real.
Be real and kind.
Be real and kind. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the number one thing I've learned from you is just be yourself and be kind, because we in today's world, building a brand, what separates you from the rest is just you, like just being you. And if you're trying to mimic what's out there,
then that's not you.
There's someone else better at being that than you, right? Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Sherrie. If you're in St. Louis and you want to look your best, come to Shear Studios, check out Sherrie and her team, right? They're wonderful. And this has been The Cost of the Build.